Welcome to our quick video explaining what audit assurance is in the project and program environment.
Hi, my name's Rod. Thanks for dropping in. I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of the concepts associated with audit and assurance. Hope you find it useful.
So the first question is, why do we need project assurance? Well, in the project and program world, we've got a fine track record of failure and a fine track record of not learning from previous experiences. So we need to have some sort of process that helps us focus in and deliver successfully. So there are 5 different areas that we would normally think about in relation to assurance and audit. First one is assurance. As a definition, assurance is about doing things better. Okay, so we're looking at the way our project's being run and we endeavour to find better ways of doing it and guarantee ourselves success. Audit, on the other hand, is checking what we've said we were going to do. So it's quite a different process. An audit looks backwards, and assurance is looking forwards. Assurance is linked to continual improvement, audit is linked to compliance. We then have the concept of stage gates. These are often used for assurance or even audit. So a project gets to a certain point in its life cycle, at which point we go and have a look at it, check that it's done what it said it should be doing and delivered its products, which would be the audit. And then assurance would be looking forward to say, do we think this project's going to be a success and should we allow it to continue? Then there's the concept of gateway reviews or peer reviews. These are where an independent team may look at a high risk or an important project or program. It's done independently and it's a tool of management to assure the leadership that everything's on schedule and they should continue investing. Then we've got the concept of maturity models. This is a different process. This looks at how good the whole organization is. So audit and assurance generally looks at individual projects and programs, but a critical success factor is how good the overall organization is, and that's what maturity modeling looks at. Similar process for people who are involved in it, asks lots of questions and comes out with a judgment on the organization. In the area of assurance, best practice is a thing called the 3 lines of defense. And what that actually means is you should have 3 layers of assurance going on. So level 1 is the first line of defense. That's why we have processes and procedures and internal checks such as highlight reports and monthly reviews of the progress to make sure that the project's where we think it should be, and if it isn't, you can intervene. Second tier of defense is the local management, possibly in the PMO or within a portfolio, who are independent of the actual project and the close proximity to that project, but are still part of the organization. Hence, we call it management and governance. And then we've got completely independent assurance, which is people coming from the outside to look at the project. It could, of course, come from another part of the same organization. What we mean is that they're not part of the management structure and can speak freely about what they discover. So when we're looking at effective assurance, there are a number of key characteristics. Number 1, it needs to be independent. So a team cannot assure itself. It has to look for somebody who is not within the delivery structure of a project or program and can talk honestly. It needs to be integrated, so assurance should be part of a bigger plan. We talked about the 3 lines of defense a little bit earlier, so we need that to make sure we're doing the work at the right levels. So what type of assurance are we doing? Assurance at the first level, the second level, or the third level of defense? So it needs to be integrated, else you have hundreds of people coming in and asking the same questions. We did some work on the Olympics many years ago, and some of the people in that program were almost full-time being interviewed by assurance teams because it was so high profile. It links best when it's linked to a major decision, which is your stage gates. When there's a decision to be made about to continue the investment, that's when you want your independent review. You don't want them crawling all over you all the time, interfering with delivery. They need to be timely and be focused in the key areas that are important to the organization. And then it should be risk based. So you really only want to look at those programs and projects that are high risk or medium risk, or it could scope the review to only look at the areas that you think are dangerous to the program. So where things could go wrong. If you're confident that certain areas of the program or project are not going to be problematic, then why bother looking at them? All right, so just go and target your limited resource as best you can. Finally, action and intervention. So whenever you do an assurance, there should be actions and they should lead to improvements, which is the intervention. So the next time an assurance happens, the first question they're going to ask is, what impact did the other actions have, and what value did it deliver? Okay. So a little reminder on why we do assurance. Number one, to ensure that the lessons from the past are being deployed into the current project or program so that you're learning from the experiences of others, minimizing the likelihood of failure by avoiding those known problems. We don't want the project and program team sitting in glorious isolation, thinking they know it all when all the other projects and programs know of problems. Maybe they're local to the organization, maybe they're local to the sector, whatever it happens to be. It's key part of knowledge transfer. The assurance should be looking ahead, saying, are you aware of these problems coming down the track? Did you know about this sort of stuff? So the assurance team needs to be pretty knowledgeable. It's got to find opportunities for efficiency and effectiveness in the way the initiative functions, maybe faster decision making, maybe you've got too much governance, maybe the processes are not effective and that you can improve them, fine tune them, that kind of thing. And generally increase the confidence of the customers, the wider organization, of course, most of all, the top team. Well, we hope you're going on to do the assurance module. Good luck with that. We hope you enjoy it. Thanks for your time. I hope you found it useful, whether you're doing the assurance module or not.